Hello everyone and welcome to Wilson Waffling Live. This is episode 20, recorded on Sunday the 26th of October 2015. Frustrated waffles and not what we wanted. Interesting. Let's run titles.
Wilson Waffling.
Hello there and welcome to Wilson Waffling Live. Wow, episode 20. Episode 20. Can you believe that we are up to episode 20 already? So 20 wonderful episodes for you to go back and have a look at, including the first ever one. And I think I'm right. I tweeted it a while back, and in the first ever episode, I think I was telling elephant jokes. I really do think I was telling elephant jokes, and I think I was broadcasting on Justin TV, and I don't even think that's around anymore now. I think it's disappeared, and I broadcast Justin TV, and I had XSplit running, which instead of what I use now, which is Wirecast, and I said an elephant joke for every single viewer I got. And I think I got 6, which is not bad going for my first set of broadcasts. So anyway, welcome. Have you all had a wonderful weekend so far? More importantly, have we had a wonderful weekend because we've all had an extra hour? Yes, British summertime has come to an end and we have all had an extra hour in bed. Well, I didn't actually have it in bed. I was up at the usual time, and perhaps I've had an extra hour's sleep. I can't remember, but I done my same sort of things, but just a little bit. Had an extra hour to do anything, which is probably just as well, because I've had a really bad experience with Wilson Waffling today. I tried to write it, got through all my full venti soy latte, and it just wasn't coming together. So in the end, I thought, oh no, and I thought I'll just have to change topic. So it is up there. It is actually up there, and you can actually see it, and it's actually there, and you can read it, etc. But it's not actually. It's not the original, shall we say. Let's just say that it's not the actual original. And so just sort of like bear with it. It's almost like it's this one here, technology, resource and resources. So just bear with me, because it's not actually the one that I was going to write. Let's say that it's not actually the one I was going to write. So before we go any further, I'd just like to show you something that I saw last week on YouTube. And I saw this on YouTube just after recording Wilson Waffling Live, and I don't think you'll get the sound coming through, but I'll play it in any case. So look at this. This is what I would love to be doing, what this guy's doing here. Can you see that huge control panel that he's doing? And he's just sort of like controlling sort of like all the channels, and sort of like he's doing all the bits about switching the shots and everything like that, and controlling it. That, to be honest with you, that is what it is like here. Okay, that is what it is like here. At the present moment in time, that is what it's like. Yeah. Honestly, I kid you not. I have a huge panel here, and I'm just quick flipping away. Just so you know, just so I quote it right. Look, here it is, and it's technical director, video playback, Mr. The Keth, or Mr. The Keth. Okay, so it was his promotional video to advertise his job, which I thought was brilliant. So anyway, I thought that was really exciting job. And the other really exciting piece of news for this week is the potato that I found in Sainsbury's. So this is the potato I found in Sainsbury's. Are you ready? Ching! The potato I found in Sainsbury's. There it is. Now, no, please, no comments. I want no comments about this potato. It's a love heart. It is a love heart. It's such a lovely... I didn't buy it. I thought, how can I make that into chips? So I didn't buy it, but I took a photograph of it and then I put it back. So sorry the person who actually bought that potato, because I've been handling it. So sorry about that. So yeah, so I actually tweeted that on Saturday. And of course, if you would like to follow me on Twitter, then this is my, where is it there? This is my Twitter handle, at iwilsonysj. And of course, that picture came from Instagram. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram and in the same way. And you can see I got some likes for that because it was a good picture. It was a good picture. So on with today's show, and next we are going to look at this week's waffle. And this week's waffle, well, I'm not going to say what this week's waffle is. I'll tell you in a second. I'm nearly back. It's nearly back. Here I am. I can't, do you know, so many buttons here, I can't do it quickly. Anyway, so this week's waffle is the one that took me so long to actually create. So this actually took me a really long time to create, and you can see this is Wilson Waffling, my webpage, wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and down here you can see that this is today's post, technology and resources, and if I just click on this, we can see it coming into action there. So this blog post, what I was trying to do on this one is follow on from last week's. And last week's, if you remember, was all about how technology impacts on the planning process. And I wanted to have a look today about how technology impacts on resources. And as always, remember, you can listen along. I produce a podcast version of it. I don't know why, but my little whatchamacallit's not showing the actual mouse pointer. I don't know why that is, but anyway, there's a podcast you can follow, and I split up today's sort of like waffle into 3 bits, and the first one was all about production and duplication. And one thing I wanted to sort of like point out here is that, you know, we didn't always have photocopiers. And sometimes what we had to do is that we had to use something known as a bander. And this machine was something that you drew on purple paper. You had to press hard, a bit like carbon paper, and then you would stick it into the machine, similar to that one up there. If I can point to it, up there. Oh, why is it so difficult? Not that way, up there. And you used to click on that, and then you used to turn it around like that really quick, and the paper used to shoot out all sort of like with these purple sort of like lines on it, and that was a bander machine. Now the interesting thing is that, you know, technology's helped us so much here, not only with the actual prep of it and not actually the duplication of it, but also in the sense that now, beforehand, anything on my sheets was something I drew, and as you can imagine, that was quite limited. But now with these copyright-free images and fonts and different texts and graphics, you could really sort of like take a sheet of paper or some instructions or anything and actually add this great wealth of content to it, and not only make it visually appealing, but also use all those free graphics and everything to sort of like make it so it's actually adapted to the learners' style or the context that they like or the hobbies that they like, or whether or not it links to a book that you're reading or a literature book or a topic or anything like that. And so like putting it all together, and technology allows us to do that and sort of like break away from the plain background, etc., but also allows people like me who do not have that artistic flair to actually add things. Now, as well as that, I've put down here interaction and participation, because the other thing that I think is really important is this idea of technology developing the resource. And beforehand, it was something that, yes, you could share the sheet of paper with somebody else, or you can share the pack of cards, or share the flip cards or whatever with somebody else. But really, technology has taken this collaboration a lot further now. And we're not only collaborating within the classroom, but we're collaborating to different schools, onto the internet, across the world. And I was watching the other week a live event, Creative Educations, where children across the world had commented on each other's artwork via a blog, and they'd used Google Translate to actually translate their comments into either English or into their native language. And you know, there was a time that we were using the whiteboard and the interactive whiteboard, and sometimes I almost like felt that it wasn't. It was like a multi-talented striker in a football team being put in goal. We weren't actually using it, and I know I've just made a football reference there, and I apologise. Hopefully I got it right, but I won't do it again, don't worry. But that's what I felt like. It was something that had all this power and all this sort of like ability to do things, but we were not using it to its full potential, and it was just sort of like they're projecting up all the time. And I thought this, you know, it was a great shame that we were leaving it, not sort of like allowing the whiteboard to sort of the interactive whiteboard to be fully exploited. And the interesting thing is now is that not only have we got the interactive whiteboard, but we've got other online resources. So things like, we now have things like Scratch that has its own online editor to create computer games. And we also have examples when we've got mobile devices here that actually we don't even need to be sat at a computer now. We could be sat anywhere and sort of like interact. And you might even be watching this podcast or this YouTube video on a mobile device, on an iPad or something that's sat somewhere in a room somewhere. And we don't need to be at a computer. We don't need to be in the classroom. We can share and collaborate wherever. And this is where technology has really sort of like extended this participation and interaction. Finally, the last thing I talked about was this idea of the types of resources that we've sort of like started to make. And, you know, it was only a couple of weeks, well, last week, that I think I actually trended on Snapchat. I think I actually managed to trend on Snapchat. And it wasn't because of my wonderful teaching. I don't think I was doing some wonderful teaching, but it was because of a resource I was using. And I can't show you that resource because I wanted to sort of like keep it for next year to when I use it again. But the idea that the resource was sort of like grabbed the attention of the learners, and hopefully they might have even remembered some of it. But this idea that we can now create a wealth of resources, including videos. And I put here, you know, it's a great ambition of mine to actually have my own YouTube channel, and actually having a YouTube channel that actually it works well and sort of like has readers and followers and subscribers. And anybody who sort of like listens to sort of like me, I'm always sort of like saying, oh, I need more subscribers, or please watch my YouTube channel. And although you might think it's rather a sort of like a teenager sort of like thing, you know, you only need to look at somebody like Professor David Smith's channel, who's a real life professor in at the University of York, that has his own channel that has thousands of subscribers there. So, and this idea that we can now create videos and actually get the learners to interact with the videos, but also the fact that they can make videos, and we're not just recording things now on pieces of paper. We can record on podcasts, and we can record on video, and we can record live broadcasts like this one. Also, we have the wonderful online games as well, and games like Minecraft, when children can actually participate and collaborate in a virtual world and sort of like engage with creating buildings or working out perimeters or things like that. And technology has really sort of like extended these resources to sort of like include such a wealth and sort of like almost like unlimited range of activities that we can do. Now, it's interesting because I finish off this week's blog that talking about that, of course, the use of this technology and the resources is really dependent on some other factors as well. And one of the factors is that we are trained to use it, and we can actually we don't overuse it. And sometimes if we overuse something, that the actual impact diminishes and it doesn't have the same impact. So it's not saying getting rid of all the paper and pens and everything like that. It's keeping those around, but sort of like merging in technology as well. There's also the dilemma or the conflict of confidence. And we're all different, and we all use technology in a different way, but sometimes it's worth having that confidence to sort of like try new innovative ideas and new innovative resources using technology, to put them into your practice to see how they actually work and whether or not it's been beneficial for your learners. I always think when I'm looking at new technology, using technology or using new technology, whether or not, if I have the confidence just to use that new one, whether or not that would support one more learner that I haven't managed to reach yet academically, and maybe they would make progress, and sort of like focusing in on that. There's also, of course, a wealth of blogs and podcasts around of people who are established at learning technologies or use good practice, like Mr. Parkinson on ICT and videos in my classroom. And you can go to these sites, and they're on my blog there, and you can go and have a look at them and see what you think. And there's good comments and good support there for you. So that was that was my waffle. That was this week's waffle. So if you would like to go and have a read of it in your own time, or go and listen to the podcast, then by all means click along to wilsonwaffling.co.uk and you can have a look at it. So let's move on. Let me check my running order. And the next thing we're going to talk about today is, of course, the discussion forums. So here goes. So onward to the discussion forums. And the discussion forum, if you remember, is on my website, and you can go along, you can find it. Here it is. Let me just zip across to the page. Here's my discussion forums, and up here it says Waffling Forum, and if you click there, it goes into the Waffling forums, and you can see up here is the discussion forum that sort of like says what points of discussion, what we've been discussing this week. And we've got several comments on the go at the moment. We've finished this response to low-level disruptive behaviour, and last week, for the last 2 weeks, we've been talking about assessing within a mathematics lesson. Now, it's this one that I would like to sort of like focus on today and tell you what sort of like happened. So you can see here the idea was to look at this document and to actually engage with the discussion about what we actually thought was positive about it, and what was how we watched this video to see how they actually interacted with it. Now, what I've done on this one is that I've got the comments here ready to show you, and these comments were posted on the survey. so they were anonymous. So, but we're going to have a look at them. So this first one comments about how it's good that the learnings happened outdoors, which is really positive. We like that. And that the children had their own space to actually interact and sort of like work on it. It also says that the children in the video, if you watch the video, they had clues about how to use a formula and which formulas to use, and which also like benefited them. So, and this actually, as this user says, prevented a lot of direct questions, so it actually supported the children working independent. The other point here, which was very interesting, was that the teacher was very good in her feedback, as she would be positive and link back to the objectives before trying to extend their learning. I agree with these comments completely, and there was some really good sort of practice in that video, and I really liked the way the children were engaged in outdoor learning, but also seeing they were assessing mathematics in a real life context. And I think that was really important. I do agree there was one comment that is not on here because it was on the original site that said this was very good, but they wondered where the rest of the class was because there was only about 6 to 8 children, which is another good point, of course, but we're not going to go on the negatives. Here's the second comment that I got, which starts off by saying creative and imaginative, something that I'm not, but this was, I totally agree with it. And also, it says here, that this person questioned how they assessed all the children in each area she aimed to. The group was split up to look at different beds, these being different shapes. Therefore, some children were not being assessed and working out sort of like the circumference. They only had rectangular shapes and things like that. So some sort of like there's some of the different views there, and I think that this second one is a very valid point. And it's whenever you're assessing children, it's really important to sort of like maintain what you want to assess and make sure that the activity actually allows them to demonstrate that they can do this. So this person, whoever it is, well done, this person, you sort of like picked up on that. Now, it's keeping on the discussion forum, we have a new topic, and I've kept it open, and it's what Ofsted doesn't want for Christmas or forever. And this was a new post that sort of like stated that there's a document in the document that was discussed in the Guardian, but also the original document link is here as well. And this one, Ofsted has mentioned what they don't want. So not what they do want, which I think might have been a little bit more helpful. It's what they do not want. And so I've put some questions up here for you. What are your views about Ofsted, what Ofsted have mentioned? Which would you prefer to see? A list of what they don't want to see or what they do want to see. Do you consider this a step in the right direction for Ofsted? Would you like to see more of these documents available in order to reduce what is sometimes thought as a guessing game to what Ofsted wants? And there's a box here that you can type your answers in and finish the survey. And of course, if you do that, then it will be anonymous and your name will not appear. However, if you would like to join the forums, then we have now got a registering form here, and you can join the forums and participate in the discussion. And as you can see there, I'm currently working on an open badge to award to people who actually join the forums. So I'm going to have a set of open badges for Wilson Waffling page that you can have a look. That will be endorsed by me, and of course will have a whole load of prestige. So that's the discussion forums today. So now then, before we move on, I sort of like popped up there, did you see that? I would also just like to zip across to Twitter, see what's happening on Twitter. Very important thing happening on Twitter at the moment. Here we go. Because look, there's my mom. My mom's on Twitter. Look at her, bless her. I wonder if we can see this when it pops up. I hope it pops up with her on it. Let's see if I can just move it over. There she is. There's my mom. Look, bless her. There's my mom, and she's there. she's out with my sister at the moment, and she's at Richmond, and I thought she looked a bit like Miss Marple. Do you not think she looks a bit like Miss Marple there at the tea shop? Bless her. Hello, Mom. Or should I wave the other way? Hello, Mom. Bless her. So such a sweetie there. So anyway, that's what's happening on Twitter. I think my one follower on Twitter is not actually there at the moment. There's no Ricky today. He must be doing something a little bit more exciting because he's not commenting today, but normally he is around. And while we're here, we'll just zip across to the chat room. And how many people do we expect to see in the chat room? Yeah, you guessed it, none. But I better say hello, chat room. Or I put char room. Chat room. Let's make sure it's working. There you go. See, it does work. Smiley face. Nobody there at the moment, but not a problem. It was interesting that I was talking to some famous podcasters who do a program called Podmag, and I asked them about critiquing my webpage, and well, not my webpage, my broadcast. And one of the things that she was saying was that perhaps I don't do it at the right time, which is interesting because I don't know whether or not I would get any interaction at all, but if I did it at a different time, I don't know. But I quite like the interaction that goes on with YouTube, or the different ways you can sort of like ask me questions or post on the forums, and I would like you to do that. I mean, if anybody does want to chat in this stream, then that's absolutely fine. That would be wonderful. But if not, fine. No worries at all. Okay then, so let's move on to the my favourite section. This is my favourite section ever, because this is my section about when you get to ask Wilson waffling questions. Here we go.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is...
Ask Waffling Wilson.
Please note, the new number is...
Ask Waffling Wilson.
Hello?
So here we are. So ask Waffling Wilson time. Ask Waffling Wilson time. Now, what I do is that I purposefully do not look at my phone. I like to build up the tension at this point. So I really have no idea what's on that. Oh! So, I just picked up my phone there. Let me zip across here. And I picked up my phone and whack, on it came. And there's a tweet here from Ricky that says, I am here, just observing today. So he is there. My one follower, my one true follower is actually there. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate it. So anyway, on to ask Wilson waffling questions. So I've got my phone here. How exciting is this? I'm going straight into the app. I never look at this until the actual day, just to sort of like hide my excitement. Right, let's have a look. Questions. Oh, hang on. I've got some questions. Now, I don't know whether or not these are random questions or what. But anyway, we'll go for it. Look. Can you see that? You probably can't see it. I got lots of those are real questions. Only one's question of the day. So anyway, here we go. Oh, this one's come before. Favourite Star Wars character and why? Well, we know this. My favourite Star Wars character is Yoda. Definitely Yoda. I've even got a cup with him on. Yoda's definitely my best Star Wars character. And somebody, Tom, I think, tweeted me or emailed me to say that you can actually get some Star Wars posters. From W.H. Smith at the moment, so I thought I might go and get some so I can actually put them on the wall behind me, so I get a wonderful picture of Yoda. That would be fantastic. So favourite characters and why? So favourite character is Yoda, definitely. And the reason it is Yoda, I'll tell you what, I should have along here. I should have a lower third that says Ask Wilson Waffling, shouldn't I? Yeah. Should have thought about that beforehand. Right, anyway, let's not dwell on that. So the I would say that why do I like it, or why do I like him? Well, I think the reason I like him is because he's small. I think it's really important that he's small, but he can do wonderful things. And a lot of the time in this world we sort of like size, or we judge people all the time by their outward experience, their outward views, or what they look like, and really and truly we shouldn't. And I think that's one of the key things about Yoda that I like, in the sense that he's different, he's small, but he's sort of like, he's powerful. Do you want to know? I was trying to think of a different word than powerful. That's what I was trying to think. I was trying to think of a different word than powerful. But he's powerful. He's epic. Okay, he's just sort of like boom. That's it. And I think that's why I like him, because even though, you know, there's that wonderful thing you've seen in the film when Luke can't pull the thing out of the water, and he actually does it. So the starship, the X-wing. So look what I've done. So you might see that a bit sort of like, not so like paying close attention because I was doing this. There it is, s.fm. So done that one. Second one, how old are you? Oh, you should never. No, I don't mind. No, well, I could be really cryptic here now and say I'm the same age as my tongue and a little bit older than my teeth, but I'm not going to. There's no secret how old I am. I'm just trying to remember how old I am. I'm 47. I'll be 48 at Christmas. I think that's right. 66 I was born. 66. Yeah, 48. Am I 48 and 49 at Christmas? No, I'm 48. Yeah, I'm 48 at Christmas. Good grief, I'm a mathematician as well, so that's all right. Do you always smile for pictures? I try to, otherwise I look a bit, turn that frown upside down a bit. So, but I don't like smiling, but I do try to smile. Okay, I smile. For selfies I tend to go, or pull a funny face. Wait, there's another one here that says, to what age would you like to live and why? I think I've answered that one. Let's get rid of that one. I'll answer that and then stick it up on the page. So I think that's it. There's a question of the day, what is the weirdest word in your language? I have no idea. I know what my favourite word in the language is. My favourite word in the language is dichotomy. Oh, I just love that word, dichotomy. And I love I know it doesn't sound very academic, but I like to put the word right in front of it. Oh, that's a right dichotomy, that. I also like didactic. Didactic. I think that would be a wonderful name for like a Star Wars character. Captain Didactic. So anyway, would you believe I had some questions? How exciting. So that was the exciting part of the program, the Ask Wilson Waffling Live. So if you do have any questions that you want to ask me, then by all means go along here to ask.fm/Waffling Wilson, and you can ask me there. Or if you prefer, if you go along to Wilson Waffling Live, actually on my webpage, up here you can see there's a button that says Ask Me, and that will take it there, and you can actually type straight in there. That's me up there. So time has, as always, flown by. Good job we had an extra hour, because this is over 30 minutes yet again. So I would just like to say thank you very much for coming along and watching Wilson Waffling Live. And if you're watching this on the video, then please give it a thumbs up and give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. If you are watching this on Wilson Waffling or watching it live, then feel free to register for the forums and get involved in that. I just realised that I was looking there and not at the camera there, so I do apologise. I thought it was a bit slicker today. I thought it was a bit slicker, so I'm quite pleased about that. Don't forget that you can actually follow me on Twitter. So give me a tweet, and if you would like to send me your question there rather than using the website, then by all means pop along there and send me a question, and I will answer it next week. Get involved in the discussion forums, and thank you very much for watching. I will see you all without fail next week. Have fun, engage, and I'll catch you later.